guys, welcome back to 𝘿𝙚𝓼𝓼. Today we have an deck for the missing numbers featuring the new Mimikyu VMAX from Brilliant Stars, the new card with the max shadow attack doing 120 damage plus discarding a random card from opponent's hand for only 2 psychic energies. We're trying to use this card with our Trevenant VMAX doing 40x damage with Missing in the Forest for each supporter card in your opponent's discard pile for only 1 grass and 1 colorless. So we're playing 3 aura energy to substitute for that grass, 3 horror energy and 4 basic psychic energy for our Zacian. We're also playing our Celebration Zacian to do Roar of the Sword for the extra 1 energy on our first turn just in case they play a Crushing Hammer. So for our setup we have 4 VIP Pass, 4 Quick Ball and 1 Fog Crystal for the basic summon. We also have 3 Incense and 1 Ultra Ball to evolve our VMAX. So the main strategy of this deck is to disrupt our opponent's hand by doing Max Shadow to discard 1 card from their hand and then forcing them to discard another with our 4 copies of Spirit Mask. So if we play our Marnie first before doing our Max Shadow and having that tool card attached passing the turn, we can actually cut our opponent's hand down to 4 cards on their next turn. And since we're discarding a random card with our Max Shadow, it may help us remove just the right cards that our opponent needs to get their system running or to draw out their resources. That means they're either going to be stuck with a dead hand or be forced to play their supporter cards to do a big enough draw to counter our disruption, which is going to help our Trevenant VMAX do more and more damage with Missing in the Forest later on in the game. So all we need is 8 supporter cards in our opponent's discard pile to do a 1-hit knockout against a V-Star or VMAX. We even have our O-Cemetery and Horror Energy to place extra damage counters on their Pokemon. We can also do ominous numbers to place 13 damage counters on our opponent's Pokemon in any way we like with our Lumineon and Acerola combo. So we're giving ourselves the extra option to use this attack if we're playing against 1-price decks. If they're playing a lot of 1-price supports, we can actually knock them out on the bench before they evolve or use their abilities. On to our supporter cards, we have 2 Breakkeepers for the switch, 3 Marnies, 2 Research, and 2 Shauna for the draw. We also have 1 Raihan and 1 Boss Order for the extra support, plus the 1 copy of Escape Rope, Zigzagoon, and Crobat. So that's all for the deck list. Let's go for gameplay! Okay, let's go in for our first game versus Arceus, VSTAR, and Raichu. They got Boltund, they got Electric V cards. So we're up against an Electric V deck. We got Mimikyu and Trevenant. Trevenant as the active, unfortunately. We actually have Agatha for this deck. So Agatha is one of the earlier lists to add those extra few damage counters, because Max Shadow can't actually do a 2-hit knockout. So 120 damage is not enough for a 2-hit KO. Unfortunately, it's quite weak, but we can actually do a hand disruption effect, which is quite a big deal. Because if they have no cards in their hand to draw with, if they don't get their Level Ball, Drizzile, if they can't get their Incense for the Starbirth, then we actually get to force our opponent to get stuck for a few turns, which can actually earn us, you know, enough damage to win the game. Or we can actually force them to play those supporter cards. So they're going to be probably quite wary about playing any supporter cards, even a boss order, just because we have Trevenant in play. So all we need is 8 supporter cards. If they discarded 8 supporter, we can actually do 320 damage with Missing in the Forest, and that alone would be a lot, enough to kill a V-Star or even a VMAX. We didn't get our O-Cemetery though, so it's better to play that stadium early if you want to damage your opponent that way. So unfortunately we had to discard that Horror Energy just to draw cards into our hand. So it's safer to play Lumineon just because it guarantees us a research for a 7 draw rather than playing the Crobat, which only draws us 6 cards, but we can actually play a supporter after the Crobat as well. You never know, because we don't actually have that many supporter cards for this deck. You may get a Boss or a Raihan instead, and we can't draw cards with those cards. So we got an energy, that's great. We actually got our Aurora as well. Let's just play the stadium and do the Crobat later. I don't think we need to do anything else. They got 1 card left in their hand, so as you'll see, we actually get to disrupt them a lot here, just because they got no Incense for the Starbirth. They got no Research, no Marnie, no nothing in their hand. But they got a Raikou later on. So Raikou is going to help them draw 1 card, only 1 from the top deck. So we actually get to discard every single turn. And if they attack us, if they damage Mimikyu, they actually are forced to discard 1 more card from their hand because we have a Spirit Mask already attached. So Spirit Mask is going to help us a lot. I don't think we should be playing the Crobat because they can kill it with 1 hit. So let's just discard that one. Let's play another Mimikyu and evolve it as soon as we can. Obviously, it has the 𝘿𝐿𝓼𝓼 ability, which actually helps you protect it for 1 turn. So it's better to always evolve it on the next turn We only have that many switch cards for this deck, so I'm keeping my hand just because I want to keep that escape rope, just in case they do a boss stall. So escape rope can actually help us a lot. If they do a boss, they can't do a Marnie. If they do a Marnie, at least we get to save the rope. And here comes the Raichu. They should have done a second Trinity, because Trinity Charge is going to help them attack with... It's going to help them do a one-hit KO against our Mimikyu. With that Raichu, Raichu is doing so much damage, right? But they may not have that many basic energy inside the deck though. I think they may actually search their deck the first time round and saw that quite a few is surprised. So I don't think Raichu could do a knockout that easily. They just need 2 more energies though, right? Because 6, they just need 5, 1 more energy. 1 more energy for Raichu to discard up to... they need 1 energy from their hand though, if they can't find enough from the deck. Because Raichu needs 2 energy to attack. Or like an air balloon to retreat. So we got our Acerola. We can actually kill the Flaaffy this turn, but let's just play Max Shadow again to disrupt them a bit further. Drawing 2 prize cards is a big deal because you never know what they're going to get in their hand. A Research Marnie, or another Mary, Stormy Mountain, whatever. So they killed our Lumineon with Bolt Storm. Unfortunately, they drew 2 prize cards to counter our first knockout. So now we actually have to prepare Trevenant to attack. Let's hope Trevenant gets to kill something on the next turn, because Max Shadow is not doing enough damage. If they play a Cape, we actually had to damage them a bit more. So we discarded a Stormy Mountain. Could be a good thing. No extra Marys. There we go, a Cape of Toughness. So they're adding 50 HP, that means 120 is not going to be enough. We need 10 more damage. So let's just do a Bird Keeper and Max Tree. Max Tree is actually going to be just right to kill it off. Well, more than enough, but otherwise we can't do enough, right? So they actually had to discard another card from their hand. That's why they chose to attach the Air Balloon onto the Raichu, because otherwise they're going to have to discard it with the Spirit Mask. So there we go, another VMAX. It's better to evolve because Mimikyu actually has very low HP. 160 is very, very bad. I suppose that's why it has the 𝓿𝓼𝓼 ability. There we go, our second V knockout. And now we're down to 2 prizes remaining. And they haven't knocked out our VMAX yet. So let's hope it gets to survive for the next turn. Because Raichu can do a lot of damage. And they got nothing in their hand. I mean, it's done for, right? It's a done deal. I don't think they have that many supporter cards discarded, so missing in a forest, unfortunately, is not going to help us much. So they got a Raikou though, so they can now draw that 1 card into their hand. But they can't attack, they can't do anything. If they get a switch though, they can actually Dynamotor and attack with the Raichu. Not enough damage, but at least they're doing something. Let's hope they don't get a research or something important. Probably gonna get it by now, right? Because they haven't played a single supporter card. They got 2 boss auto discarded though. I think they played their second one and we discarded the first boss with our Max Shadow. I'm not sure. I wonder what they have in their hand. I think they are about to concede. So we got a boss. We should be hitting the Flaaffy, but we actually have 2 prizes remaining. So let's just save the boss, do a Max Tree this turn, charge up our Mimikyu on the bench, the second one, and then aim to do Max Shadow to collect the knockout with the boss if they don't play a Marnie. If they play Marnie, we have our Quick Ball for Lumineon. Lumineon actually helps you get either your Acerola to hit them on the bench with damage counters using ominous numbers, or to get a boss with your Luminous Sign and then hit them with Max Shadow in the active spot, which is kind of the same thing. But if you do Ominous Number, you actually get to place in any way you like 13 damage counter, which is a bit more. You don't get to discard a card from their hand though. So if you want to discard one card from their hand, it's better to do Luminous Sign for a boss, and then Max Shadow, collect the knockout, plus that disruption effect. We only have one boss order to spare, but it can actually help out a lot, plus that one escape rope as well. We got Mimikyu to start with, which is the best setup, I would say. We actually have only 3 copies of the V Basic and the VMAX. 2 copies of each Trevenant V and VMAX. So let's attach our basic, and always attach the basic first, because they can do a Fan of Waves quite easy. Let's just quick ball for, we should have done our Horror Energy attachment, and then search for Zacian for the ability. Then we got already 2 energies attached on the first turn, but oh well. They got Moltres early, and they are trying to warn us that they can actually do a knockout with that beast, but we actually can survive a few knockouts first. So let's just kill the Moltres early, because if we leave it too late, they can do more and more damage for each price that we take. So make sure you don't leave it too late before you kill the Moltres. They should actually bench it late in the game, right? Because they're not doing a lot of damage early. Only 20 base. I mean, it's not doing a lot. So they drew one card with Zinnia's Resolve, which is quite ridiculous. Thank God we didn't bench a Zacian. They're gonna keep call for more Sobbles. More shady dealings. We can either choose to do a double Sobble knockout. I think they're trying to bait us to do that. I don't think we should be aiming for that, because we actually have our Mimikyu VMAX. We should be hitting the Moltres for a knockout right now. With either a Max Shadow or, well, we should probably be doing Ominous Numbers. But I think playing Max Shadow would be smarter, just because they have a very small hand. So we could actually be discarding something important, but they actually got Cynthia, Incense, and Drizzle in their hand. So I don't think Max Shadow is going to help out, because even if we discard the Drizzle, they got Cynthia. If we discard the Cynthia, they got the Incense for the Drizzle. So it's impossible to disrupt them. So if they play Shady Dealings, it's quite difficult to ruin their hand, so to speak, unless if they run out of those cards, or if they have a really shitty start, if they get a really bad hand. I don't think it's quite easy to counter our strategy, because you have to wait for the top deck to be a level ball or something that helps you draw cards into your hand. Otherwise you're stuck every single turn, right? So we got 13 damage counters. Let's just place one on the Remoraid, just because they're probably going to evolve the Drizzle. I don't think there's any point targeting those cards, because they can scoop it up as well. So we got another Acerola though, look at that. We do have a Mimikyu for that. Sorry, we do have a Ultra Ball for Lumineon to get another copy. So always remind yourself the power of the Luminous Sign. Don't forget that you can actually use Lumineon to get either your Bird Keeper, Marnie, anything that you want. Raihan, a Research. You know, it's important to get just the right supporter that you need. Even a Shauna sometimes could help. If you don't want to discard your hand, if you are forced to keep those cards for later, like a Raihan, if you have too many cards that you want to keep. Even your VMAXs, if you have too many VMAX in your hand, you can't play a Research, right? For example, if you have like on your first turn going second, you can't possibly discard all Mimikyu VMAXs, because you need to evolve on your second turn. Okay, here comes probably a Rapid Strike. I don't know what they're playing really. They got Fighting and Darkness Energy. Urshifu. Rapid Strike Urshifu. Makes sense, right? So, gonna finally play the Cynthia. There we go. 7 draw. Ridiculous. And they just drew back the Moltres. You'll see that they did the Moltres a second time, which is pretty annoying. Because we just killed it and now it's revived, but we actually get to kill it a second time, which is quite quite funny, I would say, because we got another Acerola. They didn't play a Marnie, so we get to Ominous Number another time. And let's just focus those damage counters on the Octillery again. And now we need 9 more damage counters to kill the Octillery. And they're probably gonna attack with Urshifu on the next turn after we kill the Moltres. So, not sure what we're gonna do after that. But we are actually playing a Ghost type, so Urshifu is weak. Urshifu is weak towards Psychic, and we can hit for 240 damage unless if they play a Cheryl. So Cheryl is gonna help them a lot for this game. If they get it in the right time, if they have it in their hand, if we don't discard it with Max Shadow, then they can play it to save themselves. So let's hope we at least get to discard it. If we're lucky, we can actually discard it though, right? But they are probably going to search for it on their turn. If they are smart, they're probably going to Shady Dealings for the Cheryl just when they need it, not before. Because if they Shady Dealings search for the supporter and pass the turn, they're actually giving us the chance to discard it with our Max Shadow. And they pass the turn not attacking. Didn't even get an energy for Urshifu, that's quite sad. They got Octillery, but I'm not sure what they searched for. I don't think they searched for anything. They could have searched for a Rapid Strike energy, but they got nothing though. I think they may have forgotten about the Rapid Strike search. Did they get the VMAX? I don't know. So let's just attach the Aurora energy. Let's do the Psychic first, actually. Because they're playing Rapid Strike, probably have a Fan of Waves with that Octillery. Let's just play it safe and do the Psychic. We have 3 copies of Aurora, so I don't think it's that difficult to get it out. If they play like a Marnie. Let's just do 1 damage counter on Octillery as planned. And aim to kill the Urshifu after this. And then 1 more Sobble is all we need. Kill the final card with the Sobble knockout. We just need enough supporter on our opponent's discard pile for Missing in the Forest to hit enough damage to kill the Urshifu. If they play Cheryl, we just need them to play 8 supporter cards. I don't think it's that easy though, because 8 supporter cards is quite a lot. And as of now, I think they only have 1 discarded. Cynthia, they just play 1. If they play a Research though, they're going to be forced to discard everything in their hand. So let's hope... Oh, they played a Zinnia, Boss, and a Cynthia. So actually they have 3 already. Not sure if they have more. Okay, they have only 3 supporter cards and they played 1. There we go. So we're doing 160 damage with Missing. Not a lot, but enough for a 2-hit knockout at least. So their saving grace here is basically Cheryl. If they can Cheryl all the way at just the right time twice, I think they can actually win quite easily. Because they got Rapid Flow, and I don't think they get to play Melanie though. No Raihan, no Melanie. If you want to play Cheryl, I don't think you have a choice. Playing an Urshifu. Because if you pass a turn playing a Raihan, they can't play a Raihan, right? Because you are trying to kill the Urshifu first. It's better to just do the VMAX knockout and then kill something else after. So let's just focus on this VMAX, do a Max Shadow this turn, and then try to collect the VMAX knockout on the next. And I think that's it. All we need to do after that is either play Ominous Number for our final knockout on the 𝘿𝓼𝓼𝓼, on the Octillery, my bad, or to just play a Lumineon for a boss, and that's it. They got a Hoopa, but that's not gonna do much because they can't actually hit the weakness for that card. So 90 base damage isn't affected by weakness. Hoopa is not doing a lot. Assault Gate, only 90. So let's just attach our Aurora Energy. Aurora Energy for Trevenant and possibly get out another Mimikyu on the bench, because the first one is about to die. It's actually resistant to fighting type as well, so we're only taking 120 damage from the Gale Thrust, which is quite sad. They're not even doing enough for a 2-hit knockout, and they just played the Inteleon on... They did Quick Shoot on the Trevenant instead of our active. So that's quite interesting, isn't it? Because they actually need quite a lot on the active. So even with 2 Quick Shoot on the next turn, they can't kill the active. I don't think it's that smart to help us, to give us so many turns of playing that Mimikyu. So let's just do Aurora Energy, and I don't think we need to do anything else. Let's just play... Oh, we decided to play Ominous Numbers. Look at that. We decided to kill the Inteleon, the Sobble. Not the Sobble, the 𝘿𝓼𝓼𝓼. Because they have an Inteleon in their hand. Might as well just kill the 𝘿𝓼𝓼 and place 4 damage counter on the Octillery. If they play a Scoop Up Net though, they can actually recycle the 𝘿𝓼𝓼 on the bench after doing the Quick Shoot, so it's quite ridiculous, isn't it, that ability? Let's just do it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, it's a bit annoying. You have to be very careful, because if you don't place it just right, you may miss those extra few damage counters. So make sure you watch, make sure you're extra aware of the numbers. I think Hoopa makes sense, but I think Moltres makes a lot of sense, but Hoopa I don't think is gonna do much, right? 90 damage is not a lot. I mean, you are playing Inteleon, but Urshifu, Inteleon, Hoopa. Interesting, but I don't think it's that strong. If you get Moltres early though, it's not going to help you at all. I don't know why people love that Moltres so much. Just because he hit the weakness against Mimikyu VMAX and Shadow Rider, Dragapult. But I don't think it's going to help you a lot, because you have to pull it out at the last minute. If you try to attack early, that Moltres is not going to help out. It's better to play the V card than the basic. The baby basic. I don't think that one is gonna do much. It's trash. That Moltres is trash, and people keep playing that card. I mean, are they really that stupid? So they just searched for a shovel in their hand. Yeah, definitely gonna do a Max Shadow, because we actually did Ominous number 3 times in a row. And I don't think that's in their radar. I don't think they are aware that we could discard a card from their hand. I don't think they know about the Max Shadow's effect. So let's just attach our Spirit Mask and do a Mimikyu, bench a Mimikyu, attach the energy to the bench because this one's dying. If we don't get to discard the Cheryl, at least we get to prepare for the next one. Let's just save our Ultra Ball for the next turn. We actually got a Crobat. What? Should be getting a Mimikyu, right? So we decided to draw with the Crobat. We discarded the energies though. I don't think that's wise because we don't have that many energies to spare. Always remember that we only have 10 copies of energy for this deck, unfortunately. So it's safer to... But since we're drawing so many cards, I think it's okay because we have Horror Energy, Aurora Energy. I don't think it's that risky. So let's just do Aurora Energy on Trevenant. Let's do the Mimikyu. We should be doing the Mimikyu, right? Trevenant is not doing enough. 180 damage. I might as well just attach to Mimikyu. If they play a fan though on the Trevenant, we can't attack with it. I don't think they played a supporter card on their last turn. So if I'm not mistaken, they have only 4 discarded. That means we only get to do 160. We actually played a research, which is quite risky. Because now we have no supporter, no escape rope, no more switch cards. Fingers crossed we discarded the Cheryl. Look at that. We discarded the Cheryl. Oh my god. They do have an Inteleon though. They have a Shady Dealings in their hand. So if they have a second copy inside the deck, let's hope it's at least prized. I don't think they have that many copies inside the deck. If they are playing 2 in the list, let's hope at 1 is prized. If they don't get the Cheryl, they're done because we have Ominous Number. We just need to place 4 damage counters. We don't need Acerola. We can't actually play that card anymore. We have no Paul Pad, no 𝘿𝙚𝓼𝓼 to recycle that card. So Ominous Number plays 4 damage counter on your opponent's Pokemon enemy you like if you don't play Acerola. And 4 is all we need. If they attach an energy from their hand, they actually have 2 damage counter remaining on the Urshifu. So I don't think they can survive. If we don't get an energy though, if they kill the active, they can actually stop us, right? If they somehow attack with Hoopa, they can kill the Mimikyu and then force us to damage the Hoopa instead of the Urshifu. So it's quite dangerous now, I would say. We need an energy for the Ominous Number on our bench Mimikyu. We have an Incense but no energy. No way of drawing cards in our hand, unfortunately. No more Crobat, no more Lumineon. So this is quite a dangerous point in the game, I would say. If they Gale Thrust, they can actually kill the Trevenant on the bench. So I don't think it's that easy. If they attack with Hoopa, I think they can win quite easily. They just need a Tower of Waters and an Energy Surge if they want to do Assault Gate. We have to somehow get our energy card. We may just stall for a turn. If they get their boss though, we're done. They ran out of their Sobble Inteleon, so let's hope they don't get another Scoop Up Net. If they get it, we're done. If they do a boss, we're done. So we're just gonna stall 1 turn by putting the Lumineon and then possibly Quick Ball for something. If we put the Trevenant, we're done for. Here comes the Moltres. Another time, they play a Clara. We discarded Cheryl, so they actually have 7 supporter cards discarded now. 6 or 7, I'm not sure. Oh, so many damage counters. They're taking a long time, so I don't think they can switch. I mean, they have Octillery though. They should be getting a Tower of Waters. I think they forgot about the ability. I'm not sure what's happening here. They got Tower of Waters, right? Apparently not. So Rapid Strike energy, they can't attach it to the Moltres. So they can't use... They could have done The Hoopa though, right? They could have definitely done the Hoopa because they could retreat to the Hoopa. Oh, they can't attach from their hand though. They can't attach 2 energies from their hand. So we won the game by killing the VMAX, but if they were smart enough, they would have gotten a Tower of Waters. They may not have it inside the deck, I don't know what's happening. So Tower of Waters are Air Balloon to retreat to the Hoopa, Assault Gate, and they can actually collect 3 prize. And then all they need after that is another 𝘿𝓲𝓼𝓼 boss to kill the Trevenant. And that's it, because Inteleon is doing so much for them. It's pretty ridiculous. That one card is gonna help you out so much, right? 2 damage counters every single turn. Pretty broken. There's gonna be a mismatches on Astro Radiance and another different mismatches for Dark Phantasma, Lost Abyss for the English side. So Lost Abyss is gonna have another mismatches. And that one actually has a very cool attack which allows you to place 2 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon for only 1 energy cost, 1 psychic energy. It also has the Stellar ability which allows you to place 8 damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon if it is knocked out with full HP. So if it has full HP and if your opponent knocks it out with damage from an attack, then you actually get to place 8 damage counters on it. Kind of like Spirit Tag or like Counter Attack, Rocky Helmet, Horror Energy sort of thing. But if you play Horror Energy for Mismagius, obviously it's gonna help you a lot. Old Cemetery for the extra few damage counters. I mean, that's pretty cool, isn't it? They are giving ghost types very cool abilities now. And very cool tool cards. There's gonna be a Calamity Case, which allows you to do the same effect as Mismagius's ability. So place 8 damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon if your V Pokemon that this card is attached to is knocked out by your opponent's attack's damage. So it has to be a V card, and if it is knocked out with full HP by damage from an opponent's attack, you get to place the 8 damage counters. I'm over explaining as usual, but you get the point. Calamity Case is going to be quite interesting. You get to play it with Honchkrow. People are going to spam that card for sure. Honchkrow Calamity Case is going to be quite crazy. Imagine if you have all 4 attached. Obviously, you are going to have to expect 1 prized. So if we have 3 attached to the Honchkrow, there's going to be Dark Patch for the next set as well. So Dark Patch helps Honchkrow attack. And if you are knocked out, if they kill your Honchkrow, they're going to have to take 240 recoil damage, which is going to be a lot, right? 8-3 versus 240. 24 damage counters plus 130 damage from your Honchkrow's attack. That's more than enough to kill anything. A VMAX, a VSTAR, anything with a heat energy, a Abomasnow is dead. They can't survive. If you have a Choice Belt and 3 Calamity Cases, they're going to help you a lot. So obviously I'm going to play Granbull for that deck. I mean, I'm so excited for that list, but I shouldn't be giving off my idea. Granbull with Honchkrow and Calamity Case with Choice Belt. That would be so cool to play though. And we got our Spirit Mask. We're just going to attach it to the active. We actually didn't get our VMAX for so many turns. That's why I got frustrated and put the O phase. I mean, we got 3 Incense, 1 Ultra Ball inside attack, 3 VMAXs, and we got nothing. So it's pretty frustrating sometimes this game because they keep giving you a bad hand. And we got actually 3 Spirit Mask in a row with that ridiculous Shauna. And we're gonna draw another one from the top deck. You'll see later. We got nothing again on the next turn, but they actually got nothing as well, so it's not too bad. We top decked. Oh, we didn't top deck a Spirit Mask, my bad. So we finally decided to charge up Zacian because we can't attack with Mimikyu, unfortunately. We're just gonna leave it in the active spot, and we should be retreating though because we have an energy attached to it. But if we evolve that one, we're gonna have to allow our opponent to take an extra prize card. So I'm not sure if that's the smartest decision because it's already damaged. And they just need one to kill that, which is quite sad. They killed it, and now we finally get to use Zacian to kill the active. This is quite a weird game because both players are stuck. They didn't get their Cinccino, we didn't get our VMAX, because we should be getting our, what's it called? Our Acerola VMAX much easier than this. We got no supporter cards, just all thanks to Shauna. Got another Spirit Musk. Got all 4 Spirit Musk, which is quite crazy. Finally got a supporter card. And they got no in-case on the bench, which is great. Now we get to retreat and do possibly our ominous numbers if we're lucky. If we got like a... If they play Cynthia, they can't actually shuffle back all those cards because they can't attack this turn. So let's hope they play a Cynthia, and if we get a quick ball on the next turn, we can actually do Luminous Sign for a lot of cards. Luminous Sign for Acerola to draw at least 2 or 3 cards. And we should by then get our VMAX. If we don't do Ominous Number this turn, we are pretty much screwed, right? We didn't get to do it, unfortunately. Oh well, we're just gonna kill the Octillery and hope for the best. So Zigzagoon is not doing a lot for this deck. It's only placing 1 damage counter, but sometimes that 1 is gonna help you out a lot. We're just gonna keep it in the list. Keep it in the list because, you know, you never know if it's gonna help you out. Horror Energy, Zigzagoon, Old Cemetery. All the combos, interesting combos. We're gonna play Marnie to get energy card to get our evolution. And we actually get to do Acerola on the next turn, finally. Max Shadow this turn. Let's hope we get to discard something good. Escape Rope actually gave us a Minccino, which I don't think is that smart of them to play that. They should have put an Inkay, but if they do the Inkay though, they're gonna have to draw out the Rod on the next turn and bench another one at the same time, so it's quite difficult to do that. I don't think they can search for the Rod that easily. So I suppose that's why they chose to save the Inkay. And now they actually would fare better if they evolve both the Malamars, because we have our ominous number. But I think the best bet for us is to kill the Octillery, because they don't actually have anything else to draw cards with. So if we kill Octillery on the next turn, we can actually win the game quite easily. If we do Acerola, we can place 2 more damage counters on their other Pokemons. If we play Boss, we can actually discard something from their hand, but they have nothing, no cards in their hand. So let's just do we can't do Acerola though, look at that. We are forced to play Boss. So Acerola doesn't allow you to draw cards into your hand if your opponent has no cards in their hand, because you only get to draw as much as they have trainer cards in their hand, and if they have none, you don't get to draw anything. You don't even get to play it. So we killed the Octillery, and now they got no cards to draw. If they top deck a Cynthia, I'm gonna be quite sad, but I guess it's a gamble. And they just top deck a Rod, allowing us to play Acerola, which is gonna be really, really bad for them. We're gonna kill the Malamar, because they actually need an evolution and an energy if they want to attack on the next turn. Let's just... Oh, we can't play this. Oh my goodness. We can't play the bloody Acerola again. So let's just do it later, because Ominous Number is gonna help us collect the final 2 knockout. If they bench 2 Remoraid or whatever, we can actually attack with Zacian first. And they just caught a Brawly, which is not going to help them a lot. We still can't play Acerola. This is very, very weird, because we could have done a full knockout this turn, but oh well. Let's just Storm Slash all the way then. So they're denying us the Ominous Number damage counter placement by having no cards in their hand. Pretty interesting strategy. Not sure if it's intended or intentional or accidental, but it's fun all the same. It's fun to see different ways of playing this game, because not always you get to experiment and watch different ways, different pathways to a certain combo. And they got Rescue Carrier for the Inkay, which is interesting. For the Cinccino as well. Rod and Rescue Carrier. So Rescue Carrier for extra copies of your Rapid Strike cards. For extra damage with the tentacles. If you have like a Remoraid, for example, discarded, you can Rescue Carrier for those cards. But if you have nothing discarded though, if you have like too many Rescue Carriers in your hand at the start of the game, you can't actually shuffle those cards back. You can't play them to search for the cards. You can't replace them with Rapid Strike cards into your hand. You can't use them, so it's quite useless, isn't it? It doesn't really work that well early on in the game. It's much better to have Lego Ball, Fog Crystal, Incense, things that are readily exchangeable with your Rapid Strike cards. And they are still going at it though. They're still going at it, look at that. Persistent little bugger. But they lost the game because we have one prize card left. They can't survive. We're just gonna do Max Shadow. We're just gonna attack with we still can't do, unfortunately, ominous numbers. Oh well. Max Shadow is just right to kill the Malamar, but they actually have 2 damage counters on it thanks to Horror Energy. So we're doing extra 2 damage counters. Overkill knockout. So we won Malamar a 1 price deck. We should be winning that easier, much easier, since we have our Acerola ominous numbers. We should be able to win 1 price decks very, very easy. But we only have 1 Lumineon though, so it's not that easy. It's not that certain that we would be able to draw those cards out, or even play our Acerola at just the right time. So it may be smarter to play 2 Lumineon instead of 1 Crobat and 1 Lumineon. I'm not sure. I prefer the variety though. It's always better to have like a mix of different cards inside your deck. Not too big of a mix, but a nice even mix, you know. Because if you mix too much, then there's no what do you call that? There's no streamline to it. It's not streamlined. If it's not consistent, it's not gonna work, right? You need to have enough versatility, enough options, but not too much, because if you have too many options, they're not going to be solid. Like each pathways that each option is not going to have a strong enough, it's not going to have enough power, right? If you want it to be powerful, then you're going to have to trade off for flexibility. You have less they just discarded 2 energy, which is horrible. You are less able to do other stuff with your deck. You are less able to target certain decks. If you are strong against VMAX, you may not be strong against One Prize, stuff like that. But if you are trading off for flexibility and your range, the range of decks that you're facing against, the range of matchup that you're trying to target, you actually have to trade off and, you know, reduce your power. So I don't like to reduce my power too much. That's why I prefer to have less flexibility, just because power is more important in my opinion. Popsicle Knight loves to play like a crazy toolbox deck. I mean, that's quite stupid if you ask me. It's it has a chance of, it doesn't have a high chance of winning, but it has a chance of winning if you're up against any deck, right? Any deck you're playing, if you're lucky, you're gonna stand a chance. I would say 50% chance, not a high percentage, not a high percentage at all. I would rather have like a 70% of chance at winning against the most possible matchups, and only like a 45% winning rate, 45% success rate against decks that I'm not strong against, which is fine because I'm not meant to win against those decks anyways. So it's all about a balance, isn't it? You can't have it always. You need to sacrifice some things. We got no energy cards left in the deck. That's horrible. No basic energy. We just drew them out into our hand. So you're forced to sacrifice a few things if you want to have some other advantage. We got a Bird Keeper in our hand. Let's hope they don't play a Marnie. They got quite a small hand, and they got no supporter cards, no Drizzile. We actually get to play, we can't do a boss, sadly, but we at least get to discard a card from their hand, so we get to disrupt them a lot. Play Max Shadow this turn, and possibly Acerola to discard to remove Sobble from the field. And now they are forced to play another Crobat to draw cards. We got Trevenant VMAX on the bench already. We just need to attach the Aurora and get it going, but it's better to attach the basic because they have Fan of Waves. Playing a Dragapult, let's just attach the basic first. I don't think we have any more energy cards inside the deck. Only Horror and Aurora, so we better be getting them into the hand. They just conceded though. Big surprise there. Dragapult conceded because they got no hand, no Drizzile, nothing to draw with, and they're stuck. And that one turn is all we need. We can do Max Shadow again on the Dragapult and force them to draw from top deck every single turn. So I think the best bet is to play Acerola though, because we have to kill the Sobble while we can. If we kill the Sobble, they're done, right? Unless if they get a research from the top deck. So now we're up against another one price. Charizard. Leon's Charizard. Not a very strong card. It's very slow. That's why I say it's not too strong. It does a lot of damage though, but it's not too... I don't think it can win against a VSTAR deck because it's too slow. You need rare candies, you need some way of drawing cards into your hand. And since you're playing a stage 2, I don't think you get to play Bibarel or Cinccino. I think it's quite bulky that way. So stage 2 attacker, if you're playing a stage 2 attacking deck, it's going to be very, very difficult to win. Like your Torterra even, I think it's possible, but it's just very bulky. It's very difficult to make it work. Any stage 2 decks is going to be very, very difficult to build. Just because you need rare candy at just the right time. If you discard too many candies with the research, you're done. If you don't get them until the end of the game, you're done. There's so much waste to fail in the game playing a stage 2. So Garchomp has a really cool ability though, which allows you to protect it from damage for one turn. So you may be able to do 2 strikes for one Garchomp if they don't play a boss escape rope. So they discarded one Leon. From the get-go, already one discarded in the discard pile. They're playing Mew and Snorlax for the support, double basic, and they got a stage 2, which is quite interesting. I'm quite liking this deck because they have basic supports. And we got our VMAX, we got Acerola in our hand, that's great. We get to kill both the Pokemons on the bench. They got no Heat Energy, no Big Charm, so they are both dead. No more Mew, no more Charmander. We have to bench another one. We actually got an energy from the Acerola, which is great. And let's just evolve the second one, because it dies pretty easily. The VMAX has quite low HP as well. So make sure you're aware of that. Only 300. If you die too easily, they actually just need one strike, one Royal Blaze to kill the Mimikyu. If they have a choice belt, they can kill anything, right? They can kill the Trevenant as well because we're weak towards fire type. So if we don't kill the Charmander, we don't really stand a good chance at winning. If they can evolve fast enough, they just need 2 strikes to win the game. We got our first 2 prize though, so that's really good. We just need another quick ball for the next 2 knockouts. If they bench another Mew, they're probably not gonna give us that, but you never know. We're gonna place 1 damage counter on the Snorlax. They actually got a scoop up that in their hand just now. So they're probably gonna scoop up the active Snorlax if we target it on the next turn. But if they don't though, we actually get to Max Shadow for the knockout. So Heat Energy, they are trying to bait us by benching only 1 Charmander. I mean, they should be benching 2 if they can. I don't think they could. So make sure you watch out for those HP boost. We need to place 9 damage counter on the Charizard. Sorry, on the Charmander to knock it out. 9 damage counter is a lot. So that means we only get 4 damage counter on the Snorlax, which is more than enough for Max Shadow to collect the knockout. We got the Acerola, they got a Boss, Cynthia, Leon, so many training cards. We got to draw a lot. Ominous number for another knockout. Again, no Charmander on the bench. That's quite sad. 90, we're just checking. 4 damage counter on the Snorlax. Okay, we got 1 more Acerola somewhere inside the deck. It could be prize though. So we should be playing 1 more ominous number for the two remaining prize cards. After this Max Shadow hit, they may just scoop up the Snorlax though, but they just conceded. So they may scoop up the Snorlax and play another one in the active spot. So 120 is not enough to kill the Snorlax, unfortunately. It's quite sad. You can do Escape Rope Boss to kill something on the bench. So they got a Dragonite coin. Are they playing a Dragon deck? Trevenant VMAX, Regidrago. There's gonna be all the Regis for the next set. Astro Radiance, I'm so excited for that. Regigigas, the super cool ability which allows you to attach energy from the discard pile. 3 energies every single turn to any of your Pokemon, any energy, even special energy from a discard pile, to your Pokemon in any way you like, to any of your Pokemon, any way you like. If you have nothing but Regis in play, so you need to have all 5 Regis on your bench, and they need to be all present. So you need to have Regi Ice, Regi Steel, Regi Rock, Regidrago, and 𝘿𝐿𝐼𝐻𝑚. All the Regis plus the Gigas. And if you play Scoop Up, you actually get to recycle the ability, so that's pretty cool, I would say. Scoop Up is still available for the next expansion. We have 3 months left to savor those old cards like Scoop Up Net or Ranguru, Zacian V. They're gonna get rotated pretty soon, so make sure you use them up while you can for the next set. Astro Radiance, the final set where you get to use those cards. So now we're up against Rayquaza, Evolving Skies. That's not gonna get rotated, so no worries about that. Flaaffy is not gonna get rotated. I suppose that's why they're coming up with what's it called? Sneasler? Hisuian Sneasler, which is basically the same ability as Toxicroak, but it's a Radiant Pokemon though. So Radiant Pokemon means it's a basic, and also you only get to play 1 Radiant Pokemon in your deck, so you can't actually stack that ability as opposed to your Toxicroak. I keep calling it Toxtricity, oh my god. Toxicroak, you get to stack. Sneasler, you don't. Liepard, same thing as Cinccino, but you don't get to summon it with a level ball. So Cinccino, you get to draw it with a level ball, which is a big deal. Now we don't have a level ball Cinccino, we have a Darkness Liepard. So they should come up with a Dusk Ball or something for us to get our Liepard out, to evolve and support, draw our cards out. Because that's gonna be new. That's gonna be the new Cinccino. We have Bibarel though. Bibarel is gonna be big, right? Bibarel is gonna be. This is gonna take over the entire format. It's the new 𝘿𝓼𝓼𝓼 GX, and it's one price as well. It's ridiculous. Bibarel is crazy. Okay, we got our Acerola. We're gonna play ominous numbers this turn. They actually wasted their energy card. I think it's smarter to... They got nothing in their hand, so I'm not sure if we should be playing the numbers, but let's just kill the Mary while we can. We actually decided to place the remaining damage counters on the Rayquaza because we don't have a second copy of Ace. We have a Lumineon though, so we should be placing it on the Mary, right? Because even if they evolve, we just need 10 damage counters to place on the bench to kill all the Flaaffys in play. 9, if they evolve both though, we need 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 damage counters, and we get 1 extra on the Rayquaza. We got Lumineon for that, and they just conceded. That's pretty funny. So killing the Flaaffy is our ticket to success, but it's not a sure victory though, because they can still play a Rose. If they play a Rose and Azure Pulse before that, they can actually kill our Mimikyu with 1 strike. They need to attach another energy from their hand though, so that's 240 plus 20, 260 damage. Not quite enough, is it? They play a Choice Belt, 290, almost enough to kill our Mimikyu because it only has 300 HP, very low HP. Okay, now we're up against Durant control deck with Cinccino, if I'm not mistaken. Cinccino for the draw support, and they got Yellhorn as well. Yellhorn to confuse and Galar Mind Trap. Pretty standard basic deck, basic bitch deck. Your average control meta. I mean, people keep playing Zoroark for control, Floatzel for control. It's quite ridiculous. Floatzel with Crushing Hammer. A Crushing Hammer loop. I mean, how many times can you play that card, right? If they play Flaaffy, I don't think you can win. There's no chance in hell you can win with a control deck against Flaaffy. I mean, if you play Stadium cards, Stormy Mountain with Flaaffy, that's all you need to counter any control deck. Flaaffy, all you need is like a electric type on your bench to attack with the energy cards. Lightning energy, a Raikou, Raichu, anything. It's better to have like at least 1 Ampharos inside the deck, so you can also attack with the... After using Dynamotor on your Flaaffy, you can use it to attack, but it's better not to though, because it's better to keep it on the bench, right? If you have it remain as a stage 1, you can use Dynamotor every single turn, as opposed to having it evolve. That means you're attacking with it. You're wasting the extra copy of Dynamotor. So sometimes it's better not to play the stage 2. I'm not sure. But it's an extra option though, an extra dimension you're adding to the deck if you have that stage 2 in play. So we're actually choosing not to bench anything for this list, for this game. And we're doing our first ominous number this turn, collecting 1 knockout and placing extra damage counters on the Manaphy, hoping to do a second ominous number on the next turn, but I don't think it's going to be that easy. We should be placing 1 damage counter on the Snorlax, because that helps us do a knockout with Max Shadow, but we weren't aware of that. We weren't smart enough to foresee that. We were a bit too rash, I suppose. So having no Lumineon in our hand, I don't think we can play Acerola the next turn. Let's hope they play a Marnie. No Marnie, they play a Peonia, which is quite weird. I think they're trying to get the remaining copies out from the deck, out from the prize. So there's going to be a Hisuian heavy ball for the next set, which allows you to swap that card, that item, for any card in your, so not any card, my bad, for a basic Pokemon in your prize. So if you have a basic Pokemon in your prize card, you can draw it out with that ball and replace it with that card. Kind of like Gladion, but it doesn't allow you to draw any card from the prize. Only, just because it's an item card, you only get to draw Pokemon cards, right? Obviously with the ball, but it's a basic Pokemon from the prize, so it's quite confined. But obviously it's meant for Radiant cards, right? Radiant Pokemon with your Hisuian heavy ball, very obvious combo. You only get to play one Radiant Pokemon, so it's quite likely to have it prized. And playing 4 copies of that ball is going to help you get that Radiant Pokemon out for the ability early on in the game, which is going to help you activate that special ability for that extra effect. There's going to be Hawlucha Radiant, allow you to do 30 extra damage to all of their V Pokemon. All of your Pokemon gets to do 30 extra, which is crazy. It's like a mega choice belt. And it's a mega Diancie, isn't it? Diancie only works for the old Prism Star Diancie only works for fighting type Pokemon, whereas the Hawlucha works for all of your Pokemon, if I'm not mistaken. All of your Pokemon gets to do 30 more damage to the active. And there's gonna be Greninja, helps you do the Cinccino effect for a basic Pokemon. Radiant Eevee for the Pokemon Go set, which is quite interesting. Draw cards. Search your deck for any search your deck for an amount of cards equal to the amount of type of Pokemons you have in play. So if you have 5 different types of Pokemon in play, you actually get to search your deck for 5 different cards. So Radiant Eevee, what other Radiant cards are there? Radiant Gardevoir, reduce damage onto your Pokemon by 20 damage. That's going to be huge though with your Goodra, Hisuian Goodra V-Star. So Goodra V-Star, Gardevoir, Heavy Ball. That's gonna be for sure spammed on the standard ladder. Next set though, there's no Goodra for the next set. Goodra is for Lost Abyss. We have Dialga, Palkia for the next set. The starter trio, we got the Citywide V-Star, Hisuian, Samurott, and what's it called again? The Ghost type. Typhlosion, Hisuian Typhlosion, pretty cool. I love ghost types because they're so pesky, right? Placing damage counters, doing bit by bit, killing off their Pokemon. Finally, a Galarmite. At long last, they played at Stadium. We got 4 Stadium cards in this deck, so I don't think it's that difficult to remove that from play. We got nothing in our hand though, but we got our ability to attach energy from the deck. We are confused, so we're going to be forced to flip the coin every single turn. I don't think it's that bad a deal, because we're only doing 30 damage to ourselves. It's better to just flip the coin than do nothing. If we can retreat, I think it's better to, because we only have 1 energy retreat cost, and I don't know. Let's just do the research on the next turn. We got enough time to do that. If they play Marnie, it may be better because we don't need to draw that many cards into our hand. We just need a Stadium or Birdkeeper Escape Rope is going to be enough. So golden rule against Yveltal, don't play special energies. If they are using Cry of Destruction, all you have to do is not attach your special energy cards. So now they're probably going to retreat, switch to Durant to do the discard Vice Grip. Not Vice Grip, what's it called again? Bite Together, I forgot what it's called. The mill attack. So they're only discarding 2 cards. They need another carrier, I think, to discard more, and a Scuba Net to discard 4 cards. No, I don't see any Curse Shovel yet. Double Turbo Twin Energy. I mean, that card is gonna make all of those twin energy decks much stronger. Your Durant, your Indeedee. I love Indeedee though. Durant is just boring. Mad Party as well. So we got our Zacian. They gave us a escape rope to recover our confusion, which is quite silly. Let's just do Storm Slash for the knockout. Mimikyu can't actually kill the Snorlax, so they actually signed their death warrant by giving us the escape rope. Now we got 2 prizes remaining. We just need to play Acerola and that's it. Acerola is not enough though, because we're only doing 13 damage counters. We can at least kill the Durant to buy us some more time. But I don't think they can trap us anymore. If they do the confusion, we got Bird Keeper. We just need to flip a few coins. Are they gonna gamble on Yveltal a second time? If they discard the special energy, we don't have much energy to spare for this deck, so no more basic energy. If they play Crushing Hammer, we're done. We only have our special energy left. So if they do Crushing Hammer and Cry of Destruction at the same time, then we need to play Bird Keeper. So nothing, they did nothing. Let's just attach it later. We're gonna keep that Horror Energy in our hand and just do Storm Slash. If we attach it anywhere, they're gonna do Cry of Destruction and Crushing Hammer, discard everything, and we're done. Let's just keep it for the last minute. Do Bird Keeper later, and that's it, right? Bird Keeper for the win. Okay. They got 28 more discards to do. I don't think it's that easy. 24 cards left in your deck. I mean, they actually milked themselves to death. They have less cards in their deck than we do. And we even got a Marnie in our hand, so that's quite sad. We got Shauna to shuffle back everything as well. So I don't think they can win that easily. We can choose not to draw, we can choose not to play any supporter cards until the last minute. And then do a Marnie to put everything back. Or Shauna to basically replenish our deck. And draw nothing but 5 cards. So we decided to play a Bird Keeper and attach the energy. Which is actually wasting cards in our hand. But we don't need to be bothered about that because we actually have one final prize cards remaining. And that's it. We won a game. Another 1 prize win. Pretty easy to win against 1 prize if you're playing or even if they have a 1 prize support like Flaaffy, if they rely on those abilities, Cinccino, Flaaffy, Drizzile, Inteleon, if they haven't evolved, if they don't evolve that fast, you can actually kill them off early. Even your Houndoom, if they have if you go first and if they bench their Houndoom, their Houndours on their first turn, you can actually evolve on your second turn, collect the knockout, kill 2 Houndours with 1 Acerola. That's how powerful this deck is. If you go first though, you have to be lucky enough to flip that coin. If you go second, you're done for basically, because single strike, they're probably going to have VIP passes. They're probably going to do it on their first turn. Bench their Houndour, and then on their second turn, evolve and you're done. You need 2 strikes to kill 2 Houndooms, which is basically not worth it, right? Because you only have 13 damage counters, 3 times to spare, no 𝘿𝐷𝐿 to recycle your Acerola. So Ominous Number, make sure you use them wisely because you can't actually afford to waste them. You have no choice but to play it at just the right time, to target just the right Pokemon. Because sometimes it can actually earn you those extra few prize cards for the win. If you are smart enough, you can actually, use those damage counters to collect the last few prize cards. I think Mueslick was jiggling just now. I saw Mueslick jiggling. That's quite weird. because they're putting all of the cards together, right? When they're shuffling their hand, they're putting the cards together, so it actually looks like the Mew, the card sleeve is moving. The Mew on the card sleeve, it looks like it was moving. I'm sorry, I'm actually going off course, but it's pretty interesting to watch that. I've never seen that before. I've never noticed that before. Because Marnie gets played a lot of times, and people shuffle their hand many times, many turns in a game. But I've never seen the Mew move like that before. So Jolteon and Inteleon, they got the damage counter placement. They can't do the Mimikyu though. They can do Zigzagoon on the Mimikyu on the bench, but they can't do Thunder Spear on the Mimikyu. So we're basically baiting them to attack by benching that Trevenant. If they attack on the next turn, if they do Thunder Spear this turn, we can actually do Storm Slash for the first hit. And then for our second hit, we can kill the VMAX with the Zacian, with nothing but a Zacian. So they actually took the bait. They hit the Trevenant, which is quite silly. So now we just need 2 strikes to kill the Jolteon, and then slowly collect the knockout with either 3 Sobble knockouts with our Ominous number, or another VMAX knockout with Trevenant, with our Missing in the Forest, possibly Max Tree. I don't know what's the best thing to be doing. We got 1 Raihan, so let's hope we get it just right. We actually couldn't play the Crobat. We didn't see the path to the peak. Happens sometimes. Always be aware of that. Watch the stadium spot. Watch out for that dark asset blocker. So Storm Slash for 150. We got nothing in our hand though. That's quite bad. No supporter cards. If they get their Inteleon, Zacian is dead on the next turn. So they play a Marnie, which is great. They're saving our hand. That's grand. They may not be aware that we actually got a really bad hand, because we play a supporter card on our last turn. So we got to do Acerola, maybe on the turn after the next. Because we can't do a retreat this turn. We don't have enough energy to attack with Mimikyu as well. We can't play Bird Keeper because we don't have a switch. Air Balloon, we can't retreat. So let's just pass the turn not doing anything. Quick Ball is not going to help us. We can't play Lumineon. They evolved everything though. That's quite bad. Because now we can't target those 1 prize cards. We're going to need a lot more damage counters to kill the 1 prize Pokemons. So it may be wiser to kill the Jolteon with 2 hits. They didn't play a Cheryl, though that's great. If we aim to kill the second Jolteon though, they're probably going to play a Cheryl. So I think the best bet here is to knock out the first Jolteon and then target the bench Inteleons. Maybe kill 1 Drizzle, 1 Sobble, and then 1 Inteleon with all 3 Acerolas. I think that would be manageable. If they're silly enough to bench another Sobble, we can actually do it. So let's just attack. We're drawing 3 cards at least from the prize. So not drawing with the supporter is fine because we got to draw from the prize. We got an energy, horror energy, and another Acerola. That's great. So that means we got 2 strikes of the ominous number. We just need to do it fast because they're going to evolve everything right now. Please be a Sobble. It's a Drizzle, that's bad. So 9 damage counter to kill the Drizzle. If we kill 2 Drizzles, they're probably going to get the Inteleon right now, so I don't think it's that easy. We may have to kill the second Inteleon by doing a boss. I don't think we have a boss anymore. Do we have a boss? I think it's still inside actually. So let's hope we get an 𝘿𝐿𝐷 after playing the Acerola. After playing the second one, we should be getting our boss, Lumineon, and the 𝘿𝐿𝐷. Some kind of combination of those cards to be able to play the boss effect for the final knockout, because Max Shadow is going to help us kill the Inteleon after we have a few damage counters on it. If they do Scoop Up Net, we can just kill the Sobble with the final. If they scoop it up without benching it though, then we can't actually kill it, right? So I don't think we have any other choice. They're gonna do Quick Shoot right now. Quick Shoot to kill the Zacian. They may choose to kill something else. Hit something else, not kill. And Zacian's dead. Are they gonna kill Zacian? Are they gonna boss? I have no idea what they're gonna do. And they did nothing though. They didn't evolve. They couldn't evolve. That's quite sad. They benched another Sobble. So I think we should be taking the opportunity to retreat Acerola and Ominous Number to kill one Sobble and the 𝘿𝐿𝐷. Should we kill the 𝘿𝐿𝐷 first and then deal with the Sobble later? I think we should kill the 𝘿𝐿𝐷 because 𝘿𝐿𝐷 is going to evolve into Inteleon and that's going to be impossible to kill, right? So let's just kill the 𝘿𝐿𝐷 and then place the extra damage counters on the Sobble. And then after that we get to do Ominous Number a second time and all we need is, I don't know how much we need really. Oh, we decided to kill the Sobble, okay. It's quite weird. So 6, 6, 1. I don't know what's the best thing to do here, but we should be putting all damage counters on the one Sobble and one 𝘿𝐿𝐷, obviously. Would be smarter to kill the 𝘿𝐿𝐷 and then place 4 damage counter on the Sobble. And if they evolve to the 𝘿𝐿𝐷, we just need 5 damage counters more, and then we can place the remaining on the Inteleon, and then we just need one more Acerola to kill it. But they actually didn't evolve the final Inteleon, so apparently it's more difficult to evolve the stage 2 because they don't have actually that many copies. They may have it prized. It's more smarter to kill the Sobble than the 𝘿𝐿𝐷, I suppose. It really depends on luck though. You never know if they have a 𝘿𝐿𝐷 or an Inteleon in their hand. Apparently they don't have the stage 2. So we get to play another time. We get to do it a second time. We're baiting them to kill the Zacian because if they kill the Trevenant, they actually got we did a Bird Keeper, so we can't play Acerola this turn. But it's actually just nice though. We got enough damage counters to kill the Inteleon on the next turn. So let's just do Ominous Number for 4 damage counters, which is just right. We just need 4 really. 4 damage counters this turn. And then Lumineon to get the Acerola back if they do a Marnie. We're probably going to get a Quick Ball and a Stadium card if they do a Marnie on us. So I don't think it's that difficult to win the game. We just need to hope that they don't play a Scoop Up Net on the next turn. If they don't scoop it up or if they don't play a Marnie, we're good to go, we're home free. They can't possibly kill Mimikyu. Not even with, what's it called? Inteleon. If they play a Choice Belt though, they may be able to knock it out, right? So they just place the damage control on the Crobat. I don't think it's possible anymore. So 220 with the Inteleon, that would be 240, 5, 6, 7 with the Choice Belt. It's not enough. So we did Acerola. That was so close though. Because if they have one more turn, they just need one more turn to win the game. One more Thunder Rumble to kill another VMAX. But we actually got Acerola for our final knockout, killing the Inteleon on the bench. They got no Scoop on Net for the final prize denial, and we won. It's that easy. They should not have given us the Zacian. They should not have given, helped us attack them with the Zacian. Their first Thunder Spear was a big mistake. So now we're up against Malamar, another Rapid Strike deck. Second time with the Malamar. We better be getting our Incense this turn, this game. We got it early though. They may play a Marnie, but I don't think a Malamar has a Marnie. Malamar plays Karina's Focus, Research, Cynthia, Bruno. I don't think they play a Marnie. I've seen people play Tower of Darkness and Deoxys, which is pretty cool because Deoxys not only acts as a single strike, which helps you draw more cards with your Tower of Darkness, but also it acts as a rapid strike, which helps you do more damage. If you don't have a Tower of Darkness, you get to shuffle it back into your deck with your Malamar. So I think that's like the smartest Malamar deck ever. The most creative and smart, imaginative. I mean, really, I would give them such a high score if I'm judging any decks. If I'm a judge of any decks. That's like the best Malamar deck ever. So cool. Can you imagine? Deoxys with Tower of Darkness. So cool. If you're forced to bench it though, if you're forced to play it, put it as your first active. If you're unlucky enough to have a Deoxys stuck at in the active spot, I don't think you have a choice but to play a Tower of Waters. So you may have to play 2 different Stadium cards in your deck, which may be a bit too bulky, I don't know. It's not too bad though, because you just need like 3 copies of Tower of Darkness to help you draw those extra cards. It's extra 2 cards, which is pretty cool. So I don't think it's that bad a deal. Very, very fancy, very, very interesting, very, very cool. I've never seen that before. Not many people are smart enough to pull that off. Build decks that are so radical and polarizing. And I really respect that. So we should be discarding the Stadium card, but we chose to discard the Trevenant. I'm not sure why. Because they're playing Psychic types. OSM is not doing anything. Oh well. So playing 4 copies, I don't think is that smart. But if they play something like Path to the Peak or Tower of Waters, we can deny them those extra Stadium effects by playing our own Stadium card, even if they are playing Psychic types. So we got our Acerola early. This game, we got really lucky. We get to do double Inkay knockout early on. They got a good hand as well, so I don't think it's that unfair. And they just conceded though. That's quite sad. The last game was a bit more difficult just because we got the VMAX very late, very late by our the 4th or 5th turn. Only then did we get to evolve, and we still couldn't do our Acerola. We still couldn't do Ominous Number for 13 damage counters, so that's quite horrible. But they actually got a pretty shit hand as well. So both players were stuck on the first Malamar game, and now both players actually get to play smooth, and we still win just because we got Mimikyu, a 1-price deck killer. It destroys any 1-price decks. So I don't think baby Pokemons have a chance of winning. Even your baby supports, if you play too many Cinccinos, if you haven't evolved them, they can actually, be bait. They can offer us extra prizes, and Mimikyu is gonna collect 2 prizes in every single turn 2 prize at a time. If they play Bronzor as well, what else? Flaaffy, Bidoof, Cherim, Eldegoss. I don't think it's that easy though, because if they play, even if they play the level ball cards, we still need 9 damage counters. So we can only hope to collect those extra prize if they bench it late, and if they don't evolve it yet, like their Remoraid and Sobble, Bidoof, Gossifleur. So we got our energy cards in. Let's just attach to Trevenant. We actually didn't get to attack with Trevenant, missing in a forest throughout this entire video, which is quite sad, but I think we did it once. You'll see us doing it this game. We attacked it on our first game against Arceus, but we did max 3 for that one. We didn't do the missing in the forest, but at least we attacked with it. So Mimikyu is the main driving force for this deck, because it actually has to attack first. It has to do Max Shadow first to set up for your Trevenant to do enough damage for a 1-hit knockout, possibly a 1-hit knockout if your opponent has 8 supporter cards discarded. If you're lucky enough to discard a supporter every single turn with Max Shadow, because you are discarding a random card, or if you are lucky enough for them to get stuck with a dead hand and be forced to discard their hand with a research, discard enough supporter cards for you to do up to 300 damage, 320 with your missing in a forest. You may not need that much though. If they play VSTAR decks, you just need 7 supporter cards in their discard pile. We don't have a choice belt, so we are forced to rely on the base damage, but we do have those damage counter placements. If we hit for like 240 damage with missing, we can actually collect the knockout with ominous number later on, so never underestimate that attack. We can still use it and then retreat to the Mimikyu, play Acerola, and do ominous number to kill anything really, because we actually get to target any Pokemon with damage counters. So we don't need boss, we just need Mimikyu. It's only 13 damage counters though, not a lot, but sometimes it's just right. Sometimes it's enough. Okay, they're playing Urshifu again. Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX. Rapid Flow. Not sure why people are spamming this deck all over the ladder. I've fought against so many Urshifus. And thank God we're playing a Psychic type, so Ghost type actually gets to hit twice the damage. And there's no way they can prevent the weakness. They can avoid our Psychic weakness. There's no Jirachi GX. There's gonna be Mesprit, Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf, but they need to bench all 3 Pokemons. They need to have all in play. 3 bench Pokemons, which are not supports. You know, they don't get to help you draw cards. They don't have to get you search. You can't play Octillery that easily. You can't play your other supports that easily. No space for Crobat, Lumineon. So I don't think it's that smart to play Mesprit for any deck, because you need 3 bench spot just to activate the ability. Full on 3 bench spot. If they play Collapse Stadium, it's gonna be super bad. If they play Avery as well, you have to discard everything. So Mesprit is totally useless if you ask me. Dunsparce is so much better, but it only works for colorless Pokemon. So it's quite interesting to see a new ability, a weakness guard ability that works only if you have all of them in play. All 3 Lake Spirits. Lake Guardians, not Spirits. And here comes the VMAX. They did the switch first, so they can't actually do 150. They did not realize that. You have to evolve first before doing the switch. So Gale Thrust doesn't work that way. Unfortunately, they are only doing 30 damage, and I think they are using a boss, so they get to do 30. If they hit the Mimikyu, they're actually doing 0 damage because they're resistant. Resistance actually reduces by 30, so they could have done 0 damage if they hit. We could have seen them do 0 damage if they hit the Mimikyu. Okay, we got a Trevenant. Let's just do Missing in the Forest this turn, and then collect the knockout with our Max Shadow. If they don't play a Cheryl, we actually get to do 80 damage, which is fine. Just right to kill it with the Max Shadow on it later. So 240 plus 100 is enough. And we actually got another 2 damage counters with the 𝘿𝐿𝐼𝐻𝓚𝓼. So 𝘿𝐿𝐼𝐻𝓚𝓼 is actually helping us. Because 240 plus 80 is not actually enough, is it? Okay, we got to play our Crobat. Let's just do Lumineon for... We should have discarded the 𝘿𝐿𝐼𝐻𝓚𝓼, but we discarded the Mimikyu. Oh well. Lumineon for Birdkeeper, right? Oh well, we did. We got 2 VMAX, so it makes sense to discard the final copy. We got our Birdkeeper with Crobat. We should be playing Lumineon for the Birdkeeper. And we just wasted an energy by doing the retreat because we wanted to play the Horror Energy as the active. They already damaged the Trevenant. So if they kill the Mimikyu without the Horror Energy and the Trevenant, they can actually collect all 6 prize without hitting the one with the Horror Energy. That's why we decided to retreat. If they play double fan, we're dead. So that's the bad thing about Mimikyu. We got our Missing in the Forest though, still available to attack. If they play another support card, we can do 120 damage. So they actually conceded. We just need 1 energy to retreat. And if we got an escape rope, we can actually do boss. Escape rope boss to hit Missing in the Forest for any Pokemon. Possibly a... Crobat is not weak towards Grass type, unfortunately. So if they have a Moltres, we can kill the Moltres with 120 damage. Oh well. That's over planning, right? So now we're up against a water deck, water type. 𝘿𝐿𝐼𝐻𝓚 is gonna make so much of a difference though. 𝘿𝐿𝐼𝐻𝓚 is gonna add another 30 damage. In addition to your choice belt, that's gonna be 60 extra damage. Can you imagine 𝘿𝐿𝐼𝐻𝓚 with 𝘿𝐿𝐼𝐻𝓚? That's gonna be 300 damage, enough to kill Arceus if they don't have a big charm. You actually need 𝘉𝓚𝓚𝓚 for the extra 10 damage if they do. So that's the bad thing about Arceus. Smeargle as well. Smeargle can't actually do enough without choice belt. But if it has a choice belt attached and a 𝘿𝐿𝐼𝐻𝓚 on your bench, then it can do 330 damage. If you have a full 8 type energy in your hand, you can do 240, 270 actually, right? Because that's 30 base damage, 270 plus choice belt and 𝘿𝐿𝐼𝐻𝓚. That's enough to kill any VMAX except for Eternatus. So Eternatus still gets to survive. Unfortunately, 340 is pretty ridiculous for a VMAX. Anything with a Abomasnow Heat Energy can still survive. But it's a 1 price deck though. It's a 1 price card that does 330. Pretty broken. 1 hit. Okay, Rapid Strike Urshifu, the baby stage 1. And let's do our Acerola this turn. Kill off the bench while we can before they evolve, because we're gonna need so much more damage if they do. Let's hope we should be doing Ultra Ball first for Crobat. I'm not sure if we have it inside the deck though. So if we forgot to check just now. If we don't have it, we're done. There we go, thank God. Acerola, Crobat for that 1 energy, and we're good to go for 13 damage counter to kill the Cupfu, double Cupfu knockout. The 𝘉𝓚𝓚 actually helped us because it's actually 70 HP if I'm not mistaken. If it's 70 HP, then Zigzagoon is gonna help us a lot. There we go. Zigzagoon helped us do a double Kafu knockout. That's pretty crazy. Because 13 is just right. 13 plus 1 is exactly enough to kill 2 Kafus. So that's the power of Zigzagoon. We finally get to use that card. It finally helped us. Mimikyu VMAX. I'm finally deciding to build this deck after such a long time. I mean, Mimikyu, pretty famous card. Ominous numbers. Pretty radical attack. Super cool effect. Get to do double turbo for it as well. And they just conceded. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll see you next time. Have a great day and bye for now, lovely people. Enjoy your life.